Hey, my name's James Nicholson and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now in this video, I'm going to talk about, is buy-to-let going to die in 2023? Now, if you look at the news or you read some of the comments on channels like mine, you'll think that it's already dead. And I agree, but there's a little caveat to that, so make sure you stick around and I'm going to share with you exactly my thoughts. Now, this YouTube channel is all about my property journey, and I want to invite you along on that journey with me. I'm building a portfolio for my two daughters. We've got Georgia, who's 22, Emily, who's 2. We've already got a couple of properties last year for them, and you can see that on the channel. So do make sure while you're here, you subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so you get all of that information and all the latest property news, because 2023 is going to be a rocky one. So is buy-to-let dead? Yes. I think standard buy-to-let right now is dead. It's very hard to get the numbers to work, especially in the southeast of England. However, there are ways that you can get it to work. So why do I say it's dead? Well, at the current interest rates, you need to put bigger deposits down, especially in the south, more than the 25% that you would standardly put into a buy-to-let property. So that means it's very, very hard to do. Now, my latest buy-to-let was in the south of England, bought that just the end of 2022, and we had to put a slightly bigger deposit down than 25%. Now, I wouldn't normally do a deal like that, but I was willing to do that in this instance because I already owned another property in that block, and so I wanted to have a stronger position in that building. Now, if I was looking for a new buy-to-let investment, I wouldn't be investing in the south, because while people feel that rents are high, they're not high enough compared to what the mortgage payment will be. And so the mortgage provider will expect you to put a bigger deposit to reduce that risk for them. So that's one thing. Now, in the south, I'm saying buy-to-let is very, very hard. Now, in the north, the numbers do still work. Rents are relatively high. So in Doncaster, for a 2-bedroom house, you can very easily rent that out for £600, and you could buy that property for around £800. Even with the higher interest rates, you'd still be able to get it to work on a 25% deposit. So up north, it can work. But what if you did want to buy down south? Well, you're gonna have to look at a slightly different strategy, and you're gonna have to start by buying below market value. Now, in a recession like we're in right now, this is really one of the only times, especially in the south, that you can find these types of deals. Someone that's willing to sell below market value. Now, why might they need to do that? It could be a landlord that's being hit by Section 24. So maybe they're paying more tax than they're actually earning in income from that property. That could be true. If they've just bought the property and they bought it in their personal name, very hard to get that to work. And so they might need to sell it, and you could potentially buy it below market value in a company, and that deal would suddenly work. So that's one thing that you might consider. You could also start looking at the auctions. So auction property is already down massively because there aren't people there sitting with approved mortgages and the potential to buy at auction with a bridge or cash that can then put it back onto a mortgage. They've got a little bit of uncertainty around that. So if you look at the auction prices, a lot of auction websites now, it's great data because they actually show you what prices sold for at each auction. Struggling to speak there. So yeah, they will show you what the price is sold for in August, in September, whatever month that you're interested in, and you can see that the actual sold prices are already down around 20 to 30%. So that's going to let you buy below market value. You'd need to buy it on a bridge or cash, but then you can put it onto a mortgage on a standard buy-to-let. So it's kind of like another step, but because you bought at a lower price, that deal suddenly might stack up and you could get that to work in the south. But what else might you do? Well, buy-to-let is working in the north. It's not working in the south unless you buy below market value. What else might work in this market? Well, higher cash flow strategies are something that I think you should really look at. Things like student accommodation and houses of multiple occupancy. You see, when you look at those strategies, the cash flow suddenly jumps more than double, sometimes triple, sometimes 4 times the rent for the same property. Now, if you can do that, even with the higher mortgage payments and the higher interest rates, this is the type of deal that can stack up in today's market. Now, there's more demand for HMOs than ever before because people are looking to get fixed costs. They might be looking to downsize because maybe they're having difficulties with their job or whatever reason. In recessions, more people get divorced, more people lose their job, and so they want that certainty. So on a room by room basis, you could do very well as a landlord by providing high quality rooms. Look at your local market, look at the local area. How could you be the best in that area? If you can do that, then that's another opportunity for you. One other thing you could look at is serviced accommodation. That is something that is still got high demand. People are not flying abroad as much as they did, but they still want a holiday. And so you can look at renting your property out as serviced accommodation, and you might get double the rent, triple the rent by doing that as well. Now, that works very well, particularly if you own the property, because then your monthly payments are going to be less than rent. But you could also rent one, and you can do it on a rent by rent basis, on a rent to rent basis as well. So I think buy-to-let in 2023 is going to be tough, but I think at the end of this year, I predict that buy-to-let will suddenly kick in and work again because the market will have adjusted. If the interest rates stay high, which it's looking like they will for this year, then prices will adjust accordingly. You're not going to be able to sell your property for a premium if people can't get the borrowing to work. And that's a real consideration in this market. So what would you do what would I do if I was you in this market? If you want to get into buy-to-let, I'd be looking in the north of England. I'd be looking in the north of England because that is an area where this still works. You're still getting some small capital appreciation, not as much as you would in the south, but the rental yields are vastly different to what they are in the south of England. Rents have gone up there as much percentage-wise as they have in the south, and so deals just stack up really, really well. If you want to go to the south because you want the capital appreciation in the future, then you're going to have to look beyond for below market value deals. It's really the only way that you're going to get those to stack up. And if you can't find those, which they are about, but if you can't find those, you're going to have to start looking at other strategies like HMO, like serviced accommodation. And you could do that if you want on a temporary basis and then go back to buy-to-let if that's what you prefer. But it isn't going to work just going to an estate agent looking for a deal. The numbers just won't stack up. Or very rarely you'll find a deal that does work. People aren't willing to take hugely lower prices in the south right now. And that's because the house prices on Rightmove have just gone up. They've gone up. The asking prices have gone up. They're not desperate enough yet. And if they do get to that point, then go and buy some beautiful deals out there in the market. But what do you think about all of this stuff? I'd love to know what you're thinking about the market right now. Do you think we should wait? Do you think that we're near the bottom already, even though we've only had a small drop? Do you think the rates are going to absolutely hammer us for the rest of the year, or are they going to start settling down now? I really value your opinion. So please, please, please do comment below with any questions or comments that you've got below. And we've just launched our HMO Accelerator. And this is a brand new program where you can really understand all the legalities, how to run an HMO, how to find places to do as an HMO. So in the description, I'm going to put a link, and that's going to be on sale as a starting offer. So do click on the link, find out all about the HMO Accelerator. Come and join us and start learning some stuff. We've said we're going to build some programs and start supporting you guys with more details. That's the start of it. The first one is the HMO Accelerator, and we've got future programs coming out very, very soon. Do like this video, guys. Subscribe if you didn't earlier. Comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.